So we refer to Torah as Eitz Chaim, the tree of life. We say that it is Torat Chaim, the Torah of life. And more, as I get older and as I get more experienced as a rabbi, and as I discover that the ratio of gray hair to orangish hair on my head is changing one hair at a time, I become more grateful to the deep lessons that we learn for how to face whatever moments we are facing in our lives by looking into, understanding, trying to find resonance with the stories that are in our Torah. And this morning, I want to take a little bit of a step back, and I want to look at Avraham Avinu, Abraham, our father. And what I want to do is to highlight for us two aspects of his character and his life that may seem to be contradictory, but they are not. And it has been my experience that sometimes we connect more to one aspect of his life, and sometimes we connect more to the other aspect, but we need to see both. And we need to carry both with us all the time in order to face our lives and the world in a way that is befitting to his legacy and is also befitting to the legacy that we carry as children of Abraham, children of Israel, as Jewish people. So the first element is that Abraham was committed to and capable of protecting his own family. Abraham, we will see, is going to make his journey with his individual immediate family members and with the extended family. Abraham will go to war to protect the interests of his nephew Lot. And we will be reading about how all of this unfolds. Abraham will protect those that are closest to him, and there are exceptions that absolutely have to be explored, but today I am focusing on the element of Abraham that protects those who are closest to him. Sometimes we, as Jews, can get lost in a universalism that forgets the importance of self-protection. And this part of Abraham's character reminds us that we cannot be unmoored from who it is that we are as Jews and from our need to protect ourselves. So you know that in Amsterdam a few days ago, there was violence against Israelis. Now, you can read carefully as things unfold. It appears that some Israelis were saying things that were incendiary and inappropriate, none of which justifies what occurred to over 60 Israeli people, one of whom described how he and his son were surrounded. They started hitting us. He said, "They broke my face, they knocked out a tooth, they cut my lip." He described this gentleman, Yaakov Masri, that he was set upon by 15 young men, some of whom were armed with knives and clubs. Over 60 people. And El Al, as you know, sent planes to retrieve these individuals. And the Dutch government has responded. But we see, especially, this was very close to the anniversary of Kristallnacht, in that place, the horror of what it still means for Jewish people to be on the receiving end of virulent anti-Semitism. We need to protect ourselves in Israel. We need to protect ourselves in Europe. We need to be vehement in carrying forward Abraham's impulse to self-protect and not apologize on college campuses that Jewish students want the same rights as everybody else. So we have to carry that element of Abraham forward with us and to self-correct if we are apologetic or if we are not strong enough in maintaining that aspect of his legacy. There is a second element to Abraham that we also need to carry with us. He was connected to the rest of the world. His tent was open. He and Sarah received guests with great hospitality. He was mindful of the most vulnerable people in his midst. Abraham had a tent that was open and hospitable to the outside world. Abraham engages politically with the outside world. He will cut treaties with other chieftains and with other tribes and other peoples. And Abraham, let us not forget, was also an advocate. Abraham will challenge the most powerful being in the universe, saying to God, Hashofet kol haaretz lo ya'aseh mishpat. Will the judge of all the earth not do justice? That too is Abraham. He did not stay hidden. He did not self-protect to the point where he became unmoored from the world around him. And this is a part of Abraham's legacy that we need to carry with us. And God knows it is hard to navigate because sometimes the people for whom we advocate do not return the favor, to put it mildly. That doesn't mean that we stop completely to recognize vulnerability around us and to do what Abraham would have done. I am proud to say that our Temple Israel teens again went into Manhattan as part of the Midnight Run, bringing food and clothing to people who are homeless. I am proud that our children understand that their task is not to ask questions, but to offer themselves, to offer food, to offer clothing, to offer comfort and support. What an important lesson for our children to be able to harnessing this aspect of Abraham, our father. Yes, we self-protect, but we cannot disconnect from the rest of the world. On Yom Kippur, I had the incredible pleasure, the nachas of speaking to 2 college students and 1 recent graduate about how they are navigating the challenges on campus. Here is what is incredible. These 3 individuals have friends of all faiths from all walks of life. These 3 individuals understand that they are connected to the rest of the world. They also understand that they need to defend themselves as Jews, as Zionists, as people who believe in our rights to live our lives in freedom and in security wherever we may happen to be. Sometimes we might look at the younger generation and say, oh my goodness, I wish they were doing more of this and less of that. I look at these 3 as emblematic of a generation of Jewish people that understand that you can carry both aspects of Abraham's legacy. You can protect yourself. You can also reach out to other people. You have to find the right way to navigate that. So I want to bless us as a congregation, as a community, as a nation, with the capacity to bring to each conversation both elements of Abraham's legacy. Sometimes we need to self-protect. Sometimes we need to reach out. We need to harden ourselves, but not so much that we forget the cries of those who are vulnerable, who need us, as Abraham did, to stand up and say, that is unjust. May we continue as Jews, as children of Israel, as decent human beings, to carry both aspects of Abraham's legacy forward. Shabbat Shalom.